Hey everybody, I think I'm live. I'm trying YouTube for the first time, so hi. How's everybody doing? I don't know what's gonna happen here. I think this is gonna work. So hopefully the message gets across and the video gets saved. Otherwise, I'll have to do another one maybe at another time. But I owe Krishna a message. We've been talking for a while, so the message today is with Krishna. And hi, my name is Michael Rolla. Welcome to my Sunday spiritual session. Hopefully, we'll get these things going every Sunday if everything works out okay. So, hi, welcome. And today's quick discussion here, quick message with Krishna is about, I'm not sure if the titles are all working, and I'm actually in another app, and I think this is going on YouTube, so I think we're okay. So today's message with Krishna is actually who we are and connecting to your team. So it was just a really quick message, but it had a lot of layers, and it was kind of, getting powerful and stuff, and it was really, really sweet and really nice, and I really appreciated Krishna coming through to talk about it. Krishna is very loving, very compassionate, very understanding, and very good with perspectives and understanding different, ways of looking at things. So I really owed Krishna a message on this one because we've been working at it for a while. He's been wanting to come through. So here we go. So this message is about you and your connection with your divine team. So your divine team, there's a lot of people who are trying to figure out who their divine team is, who do I resonate with, who am I, right? And this is why it has to do with who you are also. So the idea being that in creation, when we create our bodies, when we create these vessels that we want to come in as, we already are built with those connections already intact. So a lot of people looking for your team. Who's my team? What does it feel like? What is it? Well, it feels like you a lot of, all the time. Like that's why we're different, and we have different teams and different guides, right? Now there's different kinds of guides. Guides can come, they can be observers. They can be sort of outside, or people watching and learning. Because they're evolving too. So they learn from us, and we learn from them, and it's really just a big loving, giving, and receiving a cycle. So in this case, what's important for people to realize is, who you are is a clue to who your team is, right? So to make an obvious example, my name's Michael. So one person I'm very close to is Archangel Michael. Very simple, very easy. I've known this for a very long time, right? And I can feel him, and I feel his energy, his empowerment, protector, all of these things, and it's so who I am, and so whatever traits that you find in yourself, you can relate them to your team, and then you can really start to find out who your team is too. Hi, Susie. Thanks for hopping on. Cool. I guess this thing's working. I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm totally trying this for my first time. So cool. I'm glad I saw your message, and I guess there's a lot of buttons I'm going to have to get used to on this thing. So yeah. Hey, Susie. How you doing? Thanks for coming. Feel free to put questions if you have anything long going too. That'll just give me more to talk about. But Krishna was talking about how it's really understanding who you are really takes a new perspective, and it needs a new perspective because you have to break free from this singular identity or this personality that we think that we are, when there's so much more to it all. So in my case, Archangel Michael, protector, who am I? Well, it's I can find out who my team is, who I work with most closely, just by learning about myself. And this is the case for all of you, or anyone who's wondering who their team is or who they're mostly connected to. And most of the time for us, we are sort of already know, the ones we like, or the ones we are attracted to, or the ones that seem more, like us, or that, and as perfect example, me, Michael, protector, and I want to save the world, and I want to, and like, I'm totally a Michael, in all intents and purposes. So when you're trying to find your team and you're wondering who's my team, they could be on different planet systems, they can be in all these different things, but the reality is that's where we come from too. And if they're here or they're there, it's just something for you to really feel out, so you can do things. Thanks, Susie. Live's working. Okay, good job. Woohoo! Well, let's keep this. We'll see how it wraps up. That's what I don't know what happens at the end. Is the description and everything showing? I don't even see my description, so. I do see Sunday spiritual session, so cool. That I guess it got the title, so I guess it's good. Seamless is good. Seamless is all right. So Krishna wanted to talk about the perspective change and who you really are, and the realization that energy doesn't go anywhere; it just transforms. So death, it's not just ending, it's transforming, and it's moving on, and it's going back to where we came from, it's going to a new place, typically once we leave these bodies, we go back to wherever our consciousness resides at that point, and then, we can grow from there, but then, we learn all the stuff we forgot, we remember, and, we get rid of, we kind of step away from this one life that we had, and it's a big, big phase, big phase, depending on how deeply entrenched some people can get. So, it could be a really big, wide opening, or for those who are on the spiritual path, it might be something we might have some similarities, or something we notice that, we've experienced while we're here. But really the message was that, you are what, you are what you eat, you are what you think. You are what you feel. You are what you believe in. Your team, your guides, where you come from, who you are, what your purpose is, what you came here to do, what all of these things are all written in every single response that you have, every feeling that you have, everything that comes to you. Like for me, wanting to save the world, it's like it's the Archangel Michael, it's obviously, but then we can say, well, there's lots of them that want to do that too. Okay, well, cool. So then how do I know? The name's kind of a dead giveaway, but when you have that, and then you can say, okay, let's say you really, really want to heal people, and you heal the whole world, right? Well, Archangel Raphael, right? So maybe that's your go-to guy, so start to learn the connection there. Notice, maybe that's your team. Maybe it's the guy's in your back pocket. Maybe he's been here the whole time. Instead of wondering, because as you grow in your spiritual development and you call in energies and you learn different beings, you can choose any one. And we have full capability within the human body, at differing levels, as we awaken our bodies and our minds and ourselves, that we can connect to anything and everything in the universe. And so who are you, and what is your purpose here, and who's your team, all of that was crafted upon your creation of this vessel when you decided to come in. So the vessel that you're in was one that you specifically created for the purpose that you created it for. So the vessel that responds to the reason you respond to things in the way you respond to them is because that's exactly what you're made up of, and that's what you're supposed to, in this body, because the totality is we're all of it, and we can be all of it, and we can choose all of it, and we can transmute energies and change energies. But a lot of people on their spiritual path looking for who they are and what's their purpose and how do I figure all of that out, and who's my team and how are they working with me, what are we all here to do? It really comes down to what because you can't ask anyone else outside of you what it is that you want, or what it is that you need, or what it is, why you're here, and what you're here to do. That's really for you to find out. And that's why there's a lot of mystery and there's a lot of confusion perhaps when you ask, spiritual teachers, that you say, who's my team, who's, what do you feel my team is, and sure, that can happen. We can establish a connection, connect with higher selves. We can do these things, but the person who knows best is already you, and you have to believe in that. You have to believe in yourself, and that's a big step. And not like you don't believe in yourself, but when you're learning to speak with non-physical energies, it's a big step, so and because it's a lesson in believing in yourself, there's a lot of other layers of believing in yourself just from the world that can come up, and that you'll have to purge, and really just, and not purge, but smooth out, love, accept again, right? Clear it out of the way, so that you can then hear the message, or whatever, or know yourself, or know your purpose, because you don't always have to hear the message. You don't always have to ask your team. You don't always have to, because you might just know it. And then when you know it and you know who you are, you just kind of go about your day, and you have that idea, and and you can feel, and you can connect. And at any time, it's why, my team, I always feel my team, or I always feel Michael, or I always feel JC, or I always feel Mary, or Mama Gaia, always at certain points throughout my day, So if I see someone in need crossing the street, right, that's my Archangel Michael. Boom, he comes in, he's like, let's go help, and then, okay, if we can, like, I might be driving down the street, I can't stop the traffic, and just, it's like, but it's recognizing the connection. The connection is there. Everything is connected. Everything. So the angels, the guides, the ascended masters, your guardians, your team, your family, deceased loved ones, your higher self, God, source, whatever you want to call it, is all connected to you in a very specific and individualized, unique way. And that's the whole purpose of the spiritual awakening, and is realizing your essence as one of the source that needs to express itself, because it was sent here to do exactly that by us, him, it, it, whatever, her, I don't want to get into that, nouns, pronoun, whatever. And that's why we're here. So finding your team, finding your purpose, finding who you really are. I should probably update that description, kind of finding your purpose too. But who you are, you already know. That's the rub is it's, where's this, where's that? Oh, it's all connected. Oh, okay, so I'm good then. It's like, I don't feel the connection. And like, well, pay attention, start asking, start communicating with, play with it. It's, nobody who ever does something the first time knows how to do it perfectly, right? So you just gotta keep doing it. You gotta keep going at it, and make it a thing. And then you'll start to know, you'll start to develop your clairs. And there's a lot of practices for developing your psychic senses. I'm actually a part of a course that teaches that. If you want more information, you can contact me. I got a website that is it's almost built. I gotta update it and make sure it looks all nice and pretty, and I'm gonna put in a nice little about me section so you guys know a little more about me and whatnot. But my email there, which is working, is info@michaelrollachannel.com. So you can email me there if you have any other questions about this sort of thing, because a lot of people are going to start waking up, and it's going to be really sort of confusing at first, because it's such a large jump. We in our society, we've come from such I don't want to say lower, heavier place of, oh, this is all there is. It's going from lack and then going into complete, utter, infinite abundance. That's a big jump, And so when you start off, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe and know that you're already connected, right? One. And two, what is it that triggers you? What is it that makes you feel alive? What is it that doesn't make you feel good? And I think I said this, I don't know, probably a year ago. I made some videos. I made a lot of videos over the years. But one of them, I mentioned that who you are and what you're here to do is when you see like an injustice and then you feel the desire to fix it. That's what I keep centering around, because that's always me. You see something wrong, or you see something that you want to challenge. It's and the goal is to not challenge it, but the goal is to realize that it's something that is triggering you because it's what you're here to deal with. So when you see poverty, and it gets your heart going, and then you want to reach out, you're the person who's here to make it right. And there's a lot of us who are here to do that. And it doesn't mean you have to now like give them half your salary, half your house, half your it's like that's not how we have to do it. But knowing the things that trigger you are also who you are, but not to feed the hate and the fight and the struggle about it, but rather recognizing it. Like I see unfairness, I see injustice, I see so then I think balance. I'm a Libra, so scales. So is it the fact that I'm a Libra that I see the injustice, or is it the fact that I see the injustice and I'm a Libra, right? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, actually, it's kind of both, because I think injustice, period, it's not about being a Libra or whatever, right? But because of my makeup in this human body, who was born in the rising sun of Libra, I'm going to perceive those things in that way. I'm going to perceive the same situation, and I'm going to say, this person needs protection. And then Raphael is going to see the same situation and say, the other person needs healing, and he's going to go to that one. So who you are is what you see. And the triggers that trigger you aren't meant to make you mad. They're not meant to make you lash out on society. They're not meant to make us all feel depressed and that the world it's triggering you because it's your soul telling you, to do something about it. And again, not like I say, give half of your stuff away, not anything like drastic or extreme, because they're not anything but not practical too, especially for us. They know the worlds that we live in and what we have to, go through day to day, but recognizing you are, and when you know who you are, you know how to handle situations in the way that you want to handle them. So instead of asking, someone else or authority figure, or you ask your boss, oh, what about this? What about that? Well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Why are you here if not to give your help and opinion? And opinions are fine, as long as we're not beholden to them, and then we let our life fall apart, we ruin things because of it, or we don't allow new information to come in, because it's growth, it's all evolution. Even the archangels, the angels, even they have places to evolve to, they become gods, or like the god, of their own, and then they go make their own, thing. It's a constant thing, and we're all evolving, and the energy just keeps going and going and going, and we can go to all these different places. So it's not so black and white, it's not so what did I say earlier, like, oh, well, it's all done then, right? Oh, I'm already connected. Oh, okay, so I don't gotta do anything, and then it's like, well, no, there are things to do, but it's all about, so for me, it's about giving the context so that we can start wrapping our minds around what this stuff really is. Like, why do I get triggered? Because you want to help. It's not because now you got to feel bad about yourself that you can't help, and no, just go to that loving place, and you can give a lot of love from there, and there's plenty of meditations that we can do, where we can send love across vast distances. There's distance Reiki. There's all kinds of things that we can do just through meditation to really help the collective, help heal the collective. If you see something that you don't like, go inside. Go into meditation. If you don't have $1 bazillion to fix the food crises, what can we do? Well, as much as we can. And in that case, if it's something you care about, go into meditation, speak with your guides, speak with, and then you can, and again, going back to connecting with your guides and who you are, you can really start to learn who you are and why you're here and what you're here to do. And a lot of times it goes a little further than just I'm here to, like, I don't know, you know, plant trees. I'm here to, it's because once we all start embodying this and we start to be our higher selves and we start to, live in the higher dimensions, we want to, we're going to want to heal everything. We're going to want to heal. So again, it's not so black and white, and you don't want to limit yourself to who you are. And because again, we can access all the energy, right? But the point about who you are really is connected to what you're already doing, even if you feel it's not doing enough, even if you feel like you're down in the dump still or you're still heavy. It's like I don't want to say the wrong thing or something. You're a divine light being that's here to give all the divine light and love that you can. And so do that. And when you do it, when you find that, that's how you know who you are. Maybe you want to take care of animals, right? Archangel Ariel, animals, right? Maybe you want to beautify, which is Jophiel. Maybe you want to, heal, Raphael. It's all in you. So who you are is extremely important. And all of us in society, I think a lot of people in the world need to really value that in themselves. We're all not just here to just mosey around all the time, even though sometimes we just want to mosey, it's the beauty of life. The variety is amazing here. It's incredible. We live on an earth where we can have people who are living in complete, or complete, I mean, I don't want to drudge it up, but it's all here. We can do it all. You can do it all. You can change. You can be anyone you want. You can be anything you want, but you have to find first your alignment with who you are and where you're at, and you got to be brutally honest with who you are and where you're at, and then you can grow. And you call on your team, and then they're going to work with you. That's why that team is with you, right? And not like it's that team, but it's all in the creation, and it's all already sort of decided, right? So your team will always be connected with you. That's why there's no judgment. That's why there's no, your guardians. That's why there's, and again, they're learning too. So maybe you'll get someone from your team, because teams can switch. So if you evolve and then you no longer need this, aspect of your life because you grew out of your, whatever childish, let's say you had a childish thing you're still holding on to, and you finally let it go. Good for you. Now they can move on because they were able to help you find what you needed to find. So when we all work on ourselves, we're healing the entire universe. You know what I mean? This whole thing is connected. It's all connected, and I'll say that a million more times. But that's what we're realizing. That's what's coming, is the connection and the realizing that you can't be disconnected from your life. We can, but then you'll just be disconnected. So don't expect, things to happen when you're disconnected, right? We have to be participants, and we have to be conscious creators, and that's what we're all learning to become. And when you understand the connection of everything, and you realize you can look at a person and you can see the facial expression, you can see the way they walk, you can see how they hold one arm in a little more when they're moving their arms, maybe one doesn't go up as far, and you can say, oh, hey, look, maybe he's got a rotator cuff thing. That's as simple as, like forensics, or not forensics, what is that? When you learn to read people, body language and stuff, there's a science for all of that too. And so when you can do that on an energetic level, then you can learn the psychic things. You learn like, oh, that person has pain or a blockage in this area of their body, right? So, which is a little different than the psychology or whatever that one was, where he's saying, oh, he must have a rotator cuff thing, because you can see by the, like a Sherlock Holmes, right? Like, calculating it all. But in the sense of the energy, we're learning how, okay, so what does that energy feel like? So now you can feel the energy from maybe that area on that person, and then now if you can see or feel or notice that same energy in anyone else, in any other body part, or even in a tree, you can even feel that energy just floating around outside in an atmosphere, right? Maybe in an alleyway, right? Or maybe, somewhere where there's not a lot of wind, or wherever energy wants to stay, because energy beings, they're everywhere, right? They can go anywhere, so just because there's wind doesn't mean it's gone, just because so it's all connected. And when you can see that you'll develop your psychic. I think I said that already. Okay. I'm checking in with Krishna. Yeah, he says, good job. It's like, keep going. Yeah, Krishna is awesome. And he's just saying there's so much love. Okay, good. So changing your perspective is not so easy, but it's very important. And like I said earlier, or like we said earlier, going from a complete lack to a complete infinite abundance is a big jump. And for a lot of people in our society, for me, I'll speak for myself. I grew up with the tough love, the macho man, the cool this, cool that, whatever, Harleys, all that stuff. And so for a lot of people, talking about love or talking about their emotions, for a lot of men per se, isn't something that they do, and because I've seen it my whole life, like, oh, oh, you're fine. Oh, I just want to hug. I'm 12 years old, like, I don't really need to analyze this whole thing, and like figure out what the meaning of life is, Mr. Grumps. Like, I just want to hug, it's like, but there's that big gap where there's like the macho, the male standards and how they act. So, changing your perspective from one of fear into love, into knowing that you're not worthless, you're worthy completely. You're needed. It can be a big jump. And he's saying, start by loving yourself and love and forgive yourself, because you need to, no one, you can, it doesn't matter if anyone else forgives you. And I mean, yes, that's good, but you have to forgive yourself first, because then you won't be free to do anything. Because if you're still living trapped in your own mind based off of what other people said or what you learned throughout your life, then you're always living trapped, and you're always living based off of the dictates of another person instead of yourself, instead of what you need, who you are. So loving yourself is a big step, and forgiving yourself, not judging yourself. Like the guy who is too macho, he needs to get over himself. He needs to realize he wants love too, like everybody wants love. He's not, he's not helping by being, oh, you're fine, and not giving the 12-year-old a hug who just needed a hug. He thinks he's helping. I'm teaching him to be strong. No, you're perpetuating, that disconnection, which isn't real, because we are connected. So the connection then becomes a heavy, dense, negative connection, at least half of it, coming from them, even if you're putting love towards them. And that's what confuses the signals. And then that's when the communication and relationships start to change. Okay, Susie. Hey, Susie. Who of your guides did you have direct communication guidance with first? Your guardian angels, my higher self. It's good you mentioned. I was gonna make this and kind of talk about my higher self. I wasn't sure which one to do today. I'll do a video for sure on my higher self and the whole process. I know I've mentioned it a couple times, in group settings and whatnot, and with some friends. So, but yeah, I definitely want to do a higher self version of this, because we could probably do it next week. I think that'll be good. It'll be a good follow up for this one, because it falls right into line with the whole, who you are and what you are. I've always liked, I've always been the rebel type. I've always liked the rock music, and, I was a little skater boy, and so I got into the punk rock music when I was younger, and I loved it. I freaking loved it with all my heart, and I still do to this day, because I know what they're saying, and I know what they're fighting for. So to me, it's saying to me, and so right then and there, what does that mean? So now I'm connected to all of them, right? All of that realm of 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 Joey Ramone, I mean, any of them. Like, it's like, see, now he's giving me chills. Look at it. I got chills on my hair in the back of my head. That's cool. I'm gonna do one with Joey Ramone. We're gonna do this one day. We're gonna do this one day. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. So for a little bit though, yeah, my higher self was first. And again, I'll do the video, but to answer the question, your higher self is that person in you that's, always, for me, my higher self was the voice in my head, and not like it's a voice, like everybody makes things out to be like, well, oh my God, it's when, how you talk to yourself, when your kids do it all the time and then you grow up and you stop doing it. Well, that's me communicating with my higher self. Now, you have to learn to differentiate between when you're just talking and it's you, and then you got to stop, listen, and hear. And a lot of times in the beginning, when you can't hear too well, you're going to ask questions, and then you might even get impatient. You ask more questions, and you ask more. You got to ask one question at a time. You got to wait for the answer. And even if you get up and move around, do something else, but keep to that one question so that you eventually start to hear the answers. For me, my guides come in, they're always here. They're really cool. There's a slight difference. My higher self, in this case, and I'll do this on another video, your higher self is like you. It's like the pure essence of you. And so you already know who your higher self is. Like right now, you're already being your higher self. Your higher self's listening to this. You're listening to this. You guys are right there right now. What you can do is you can sense the vibration, right? So it's easy to sense our physical body vibrations. We wake up, we feel groggy, whatever. We exasperate ourselves. We get tired. Things like this. So when you can separate the body feeling, separate the physical senses from the spiritual senses, that's how you know you're talking with them. So for me, my higher self, it was a dialogue between, me, going, why, in my dark night phase, because I was breaking out, and I was finding my higher self, and I was getting who I was and what's going on with the world and what's everything going, what does it mean to me, and why do I care and why do I not care, and I went through all of this stuff, and this is gonna be a fun video next week. And so for me it was what's going on, and then it was, oh, okay, that's what's going on, and it wasn't like I heard the voice, it wasn't like it was just, it came to me. I knew, my questions were being answered, whether I liked them or not, whether I liked the answers or not. And a lot of times with the spiritual messages too, sometimes it's just a really simple message like, I love you, sometimes they see that you're going through something and you might have all these questions, but they know that dwelling on the questions is what's making you stay there. So they might just say, I love you, and that's it. You might want this long answer. You might looking on YouTube, where's the answer for the thing that I have, the question that I'm not getting enough of, and then it's like, but in the end of the day, the number one answer to everything is love, is peace, is, that still center, point of infinite everything, the answer's always there, and the answer is always to go inside. So that can get repetitive and frustrating for some people, but you kind of just got to keep going. Excuse me, I'm burping. You just got to keep going with it. You got to believe, you got to have faith, you got to trust, and you got to know that you're learning something new. So don't, it's like why they say most of us are our own, worst critics or worst enemies in this case, because we're, it's only our minds that are trying, I'm trying to, raise my consciousness in this body, of course, with anyone else that I possibly can, but I can only be responsible for that, it's, yeah, I mean, at some point you really have to develop the skills and the practices so you can, you can learn that. And for me, I wasn't, I mean, I meditated, I was balanced, had my own place, I was, in my own apartment and whatnot. So I had a lot of time for myself, but, I was working full time, just normal living. And so I wasn't necessarily doing all of these really, really specific things in order to, connect to my higher self. Me and my higher self, we just hooked up because I got so frustrated with life, if you will. I was at a point where it was just like, what am I here to do? What am I trying to, what and this and this. And then it's not like it just, ding dong and then here's a letter and it's just all written out for you. It's that process of me, getting frustrated, hearing the answer, getting frustrated about the answer, hearing it again. The first time I was on a video and it was the first time I had that inkling or, that epiphany, whatever, of all the times I heard it before, but then it hit me on the one, I was listening to the video and it said, how we're not necessarily learning something new, but we're remembering what we already know, right? And so I was like, oh, right, yeah, because I already knew it. And I just like dropped my phone. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. And he started cracking up, because I was like, I'm done. And when I stop and I'm in my frustration, I'm done. I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at the phone on the ground. And then I feel this complete happy joy, love, laughter, and light. And I just start laughing and I'm just like, I mean, I get the irony. I get why it's funny on the human side, but this feeling that just came just changed my mood. I was like, that's my higher self. That's, at least at that point, I knew that was love. I knew that was where I wanted to go. I knew that's what I wanted to be. So it's interesting because we can, and this is a good point about multidimensionality and being in more places all at once, how the spirit can be everywhere at any time. This is the same concept. When we, with our vessels, can be in our vessels, but we can also be our higher selves. Because right now, my higher self's still here, right? It's still, it's just a matter of how much of it's going to come through me, how much can this body, physical vessel embody, and how much can I be of that person all the time, right? And that's the goal, is that we can start to become that which who we are, right? The higher versions of who we are, and so yeah, so it's that multidimensionality, that omni consciousness, because we're all connected to that too, and we can do that too. And as we learn to grow, it's how the angels or whoever, masters, they say they incarnate into human bodies and then they can have full awareness if they choose, or they, depending on, I'm sure there's way more factors up there, like timing and realm and, the dimension and the people and what they're actually going to do with it. I'm sure there's way more to it, of course, but the idea being that, it's how am I me, but then it's my higher self. Well, it's always there. Oh, well, if it's always there, then how can I ever be it if it's always there? Like there's a lot of human thoughts that can get in the way, but we're, like I said, we're going from, like Krishna said, we're going from a complete lack, not complete, but pretty lack, scarcity mentality to infinite abundance, and it's a process, so take your time. What is Susie? Hey Susie, does Krishna have a message, guidance for me about what's most important to focus on at the moment? Yes. Let me see. Krishna says to keep doing you. I'm sweating. Okay. Keep doing you, Susie. You're on a path that he says maybe not many people around you may be understanding about, and there might be a sense of you needing to not hide it away, but like most light workers, most of us on this path, there's sort of that alone time, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And it's important that you fill it with love and not the concern for that which others have for you over it. And just keep growing, and you're doing excellent. And he would love to work with you. If you have anything that you would want to transform and give love to, he would love to work with you. He said on the human level. So I just think, because I want to reference Saint Germain right now. So yeah, him or Krishna. Krishna brings a lot of love. Krishna has a lot of human ties, a lot of humanity. I know Master Saint Germain also does. He's the violet fire. Krishna, what's your color? I get like a turquoise blue, really light bluish from Krishna, at least right now. For whatever reason, but he's saying he can be any colors. But right now he's giving you light blue. This is for Susie. This one's for Susie. He's light blue. You can do a light blue ray, and really just bask in it. And he says, filling yourself with the knowledge that you know you have and you are, and the being that you are. Knowing and saturating yourself and just sitting in there. It will relieve any pressures or anxieties. It'll calm the nerves. It'll calm your surroundings. And he's really emphasizing the love, putting the love back into everything you do, into your conversations with everything around you. Because, okay, so now he's saying you may be practicing much, and throughout the course of every spiritual path, it's always good to be reminded of certain areas and certain things and the fundamentals. And so he's saying in this case, really don't forget the love, and don't forget to bring the love before and after every single practice that you do, or anywhere. He's saying any event you go to, you can send love to it beforehand, or and especially in your sacred space, light blue, and then let it just saturate the room, and then it'll center everything. He's kind of giving me a sense of the relaxation that you'll have in the trust and the knowing that can come from that, from who you already are, knowing what you're already doing. It's going to be everything that you've always wanted it to. Be excited. Be excited for that. Be excited that every chance that you get to show the world how to love, even if it's alone by yourself, you can show your own mind. You can show your own body's programmings and thoughts. You can show them the way to love. That's why we're here. You're here as vessels to be transmuting these things, but we need to recognize ourselves as the transmuters, and know that when a thought comes that we don't want, or a feeling, or a vibration, or a space, a room, or you walk into a room and you don't want it, you're here to change it. Which goes back to what this one was saying about the things that trigger you. That's what you're here for. So if there's anything that you find not right, too heavy, too whatever, bask in the love of knowing who you are, that you're here to fix everything without having to stress or overly, without a lot of effort or a lot of, you can do it simply through your meditation. So my message for Susie is one of love and light and empowerment and encouragement and clarity. Cleanliness. Yeah. Springtime is coming. So yeah. Yeah, there you go. That's true. That is true. So yeah, I hope that helps you, Susie. It's definitely centered around being who we are. So, yeah, that's his messages for today. So yeah, so don't worry about the haters. That's from me, you know. I don't know if was that you too? He's just laughing. He's just like shaking his head like, oh God. There aren't haters. They just don't know they're just learning, okay? Okay. The infinite love with these guys. They're fantastic. It's like, and that's another good point too. Like he's made me go back to when I was talking about the male and the masculinity and the inability to be sensitive, right? He's saying that when you give the love, that's, oh, so I'm losing it. That's what changes everything. You change it yourself. Like, you all are so important to everything that you interact with every day. You know, when you wake up and you're, oh, I'm groggy, and then you're walking around and you're brushing your teeth and you're groggy and you're like, oh, so that, all of that tells you're talking to your toothbrush, you're talking to the wall, you're talking to your environment and your world. You're exhaling breath, air into your environment that is of a grogginess per se, right? And he's not saying to, like, judge or neglect your physical needs. Like, I mean, sometimes we're just gonna be groggy, especially with the energies that are coming in. But again, what do you do with it? You're here to be the change makers, right? So go sit down until you're not groggy. Take an extra 20 minutes to get up in the morning, hop in the shower if you don't normally shower in the morning, do whatever you need to do for you. And like we said before, because that fixes everything in the universe when you do better for you, because now, let me kick my thing. Because now you aren't putting or being allowed by whatever to put negativity into the world. Simple as that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna head off. I think I got 45 minutes, a little over. So cool. Thanks for hopping on, Susie. I was totally I wanted to try what a live YouTube would be like, and I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be talking. I didn't know I was gonna be talking. Yeah, right, this guy. So I didn't know half what was going to come out though, but that's fun, man. This was really cool. Hopefully this will work, and because right now I don't even know what to press. I'm just gonna hit end, and then maybe it'll upload the video. So all right, thanks everyone. Much love, much light. Thank you, Krishna, for coming through. Thanks again, anyone who stopped in or anyone who watches. Hopefully you resonate with this. Again, you can message me, info@michaelrollachannel.com, and I'll get back to you. And all right. See you next time. Exactly. Bye all. Let's see if I can end this properly here. There it is.